Chapter 4. The Personal Loss. Elise Brennan knelt, fingers digging into the damp soil of the silent confluence, feeling the cool earth crumble beneath his grip as he studied the shadows gathering around him. The scent of loam and decaying bark filled his lungs, sharpening his senses for the chaos to come. Every muscle in his body was tense, alert for movement, his heart pounding against his ribs. With a steadying breath, he reached for his dagger, eyes scanning the darkening woods for signs of Garen's men. His palms sweat, but the uprising was imminent, and he was determined to hold the line. He moved with deliberate quiet, every step measured as he pressed through the tangled underbrush. The whispers of the trees seemed to echo his thoughts, urgent, threatening. Faint glimmers of lanterns flickered in the distance, casting shadows that danced like spectres. His mind raced, calculating the timing, the safest route to warn the village, to rally the others. The scent of moss and wet bark clung to him, grounding him amid the swirling fears. As he neared the clearing, the distant murmur of voices grew louder, a sign that the enemy was closing in. The scene exploded with noise, shouts, the crack of wood, hurried footsteps. Garen's forces had arrived, and the fragile peace shattered in an instant. Elise's eyes darted for cover, heart hammering in his chest. The scent of smoke and scorched earth filled the air, a fiery testament to the destruction about to unfold. He ducked behind a fallen log, clutching his dagger tightly, breath ragged. Every second counted now. His thoughts spun: should he confront, evade, or fight? The clock was a relentless drumbeat in his mind, 13 hours, 7 minutes, and counting down to catastrophe. The confrontation was inevitable. Garen's voice thundered over the chaos, calling for obedience, promising victory. Elise pushed forward, defiant despite the mounting danger. His palms were slick with sweat, the taste of metal lingering on his tongue. He shouted back, words sharp and clear, trying to pierce the storm of noise.
"We need to buy time."
The murmurs of the villagers behind him were hushed, eyes wide with fear and hope. The scent of damp earth and burning wood intertwined, sealing the moment in a visceral memory of impending battle. Every muscle tensed as he prepared to face whatever came next. The decisive hour had arrived. The scene's tension escalated as the enemy closed in, footsteps pounding like the heartbeat of chaos itself. Elise's vision blurred with adrenaline, but his mind remained sharp. The last light of day dipped below the horizon, the dark swallowing the land. His voice cut through the din.
"Hold the line!"
His body ached, every breath a struggle against panic. The stakes had never been higher. The outcome would determine everything: survival, betrayal, future. The scene ended with a flash of steel and a burst of fire, a desperate, fleeting hope amid the storm. The distant clash of steel and shouts faded into the darkness as Elise, battered but unbowed, pressed forward into the night. Garen's forces had seized the moment, but the fight was far from over. The dark stretched long across the land, promising more chaos to come. Still clutching his dagger, Ellis's breath came in ragged gasps, eyes fixed on the flickering lights of the village. His home, his hope, now teetering on the edge of ruin. The ticking clock echoed in his mind, each second a reminder that time was running out. But within him burned a fierce resolve. Whatever the cost, he would stand firm. The storm was upon them, and he would face it head-on. The dagger sliced through the shadows as Elise darted between alleyways, heart pounding with the urgency of the countdown. 9.8 hours, less than a day, until Garen's uprising erupts, swallowing their village in chaos. His breath was shallow, each inhale sharp with anticipation, eyes darting for allies or threats. The flickering torchlight reflected off wet cobblestones, casting a mosaic of shadow and flame. A distant bell tolled, marking curfew, while the scent of charred wood and damp earth filled the air. Every step was deliberate, every moment a gamble. Time was slipping away, and Elise knew he couldn't afford hesitation now. He pressed forward through the narrow, winding streets, each turn revealing more signs of impending chaos. Voices echoed faintly, some cheering, some whispering warnings, blended with the crackle of distant fires. The villagers moved hurriedly, faces tense with fear or determination. Iliz's senses honed in on the sounds, the shuffling of feet, the faint metallic clang of weapons, the distant scream that pierced the night. Every second counted, and he fought to filter out the panic, focusing instead on the vital task of rallying the scattered defenders before the clock struck 0. In a shadowed alcove he saw Clara, the blacksmith's daughter, her face streaked with soot but eyes bright with resolve. She held a hammer tightly, the calluses on her hands telling stories of hard work and quiet rebellion. Their eyes met briefly, an unspoken understanding before she hurried past, her figure swallowed by the darkness. Elis clenched his jaw, knowing that every moment she hesitated, Garen's forces gained ground. The tension in his chest grew tighter, a coil ready to snap. He reached out instinctively, calling her name, but she was already gone, lost among the chaos. A sudden explosion rocked the square. An incendiary device ignited at the edge of the village. Flames flickered like hellish flowers, casting long, twisting shadows. Elis dove behind a cart, heart hammering in his chest, sweat stinging his eyes. The chaos was spilling into the streets, and the villagers scrambled for cover. His mind raced. How could he turn the tide? Time was running out, the enemy's advance was relentless, and every second that slipped away was a second closer to catastrophe. He gripped his dagger tighter, eyes scanning for a plan amid the inferno, knowing that hesitation now could mean the end. In the midst of the turmoil, he spotted Mira. Her face streaked with dirt, but her stance firm. She pushed through the crowd, shouting commands, rallying those who still had fight left. Ilis moved toward her, voice strained but determined. "We need to push back now," he demanded, slicing through the chaos. She nodded, her own resolve hardening. In that moment, the villagers began to regroup, forming a tenuous line of defiance. The clock's relentless ticking pressed on their minds, but for now they fought desperately, clinging to hope as the night threatened to swallow them whole. As dawn threatened to break the horizon, the village still smoldered, but Ilis stood amidst the wreckage, battered but unbowed. The chaos had tested every ounce of their resolve, yet the fight was far from over. Each scar on his skin was a testament to their collective will, their refusal to yield. The flickering remnants of fires cast long the dark over the battered streets, but in the distance the first light of hope shimmered. Garen's uprising had begun, but it had not won. Ilis clenched his fists, the dagger still in hand, and vowed silently. They would rebuild, they would resist, and they would reclaim their future, one step at a time.